Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. This is Sebastian, and as you can see here, I am at the Forerunners server. We are in the first week of Season 6 of Guild Wars. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the maps. Some of the layouts that we seeing may work for some, and maybe some of the layouts that you want to avoid. And I'm also going to show you a collection of clips that I collected from this week's battles. All right, let's focus on the maps first. I'm going to go here. Let's do the central keep first because this is, of course, the big one. This is where you're probably going to want to place your tougher defenses if you can. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring, let's do 2 units, 2 platforms here. Or do we do 3? Let's try 3, just so we can all get an idea of how things are working out here. All right, so let's do the load out here. Now, here's the thing, which you can see here on the bottom right is where we have the spawn point. The core is here. Now, one of the benefits that we are seeing from having these longer maps is we have a little bit more time to put our to send our units out. 310 is what we're seeing, different from what we previously had. So definitely that will be an advantage for us on the offense, the fact that we have a little bit more time to plan things out. So the way that we're seeing here is people are doing 2 types or actually 3 types of defenses that we're seeing, because some are actually choosing to just go ahead and tackle you right here at the front, and they pretty much start putting things together. Now, the one thing that I will tell you here is if you decide to put 2 tanks here or a tank and a fighter right behind, of course, everything still applies. You're probably going to be, not completely immune to the destructors or the destroyers, excuse me, if they decide to bring those. Just make sure that you have a good healer that can back them up, or you have Carnelian, at least somebody to give you an extra life. But that's exactly what you're going for. Now, you're probably going to want to avoid putting anything in here for your sake, because if, for example, archers do manage to reach over here, or even the Garner guards, they're gonna aim right for that platform. So just don't even try. So this platform is out if you decide to bring him here. Also, I will say that based on what I was seeing with the AI, it would be really hard for the Garner guards to get to this tile here. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they just try to hit straight. So I haven't really seen them hit this platform here. I will show you a clip of where they couldn't reach this platform over here as well. So, but let me keep going here. Essentially what they're doing is they're stacking them here, and then they're putting the healers in like kind of two units that have reach to try to tackle, to try to bring you down at the spot. And then of course you have your healer back here. That's one if you wanted to. There are definitely advantages and disadvantages. It all depends how much CC you have up front to try to do this, if you wanted to do something like that for this keep. The other way that I'm seeing this being laid out as well is coming over here. Now that we have the 3 tiles here, now that plays to people's advantages if they wanted to triple stack. Right, so we have our long extender fighters like Valkyra, Arrogance, just as examples, Ardia. So essentially it's just trying to plug this here, and we definitely seen that when it comes to putting a platform unit here and then maybe a healer back here. That's kind of a setup that that I've been seeing. Now, of course, if the Garner guards get here, I will show you a clip. They really can't reach this tile here, at least their range cannot, so they're not focusing on it. And at least from what I tried doing with one of the defenses that I did go up against, it, I purposely sent Garner guards to see if they would hit here. They just could not do it. But if you decide to do anything regarding here, don't use these platforms. Right away, you're just inviting trouble. You're going to give somebody a freebie to take you out here. Unless for some reason you are able to plan for somebody like Carnelian as a hitter to put the orbs right really fast on a unit in this platform. You just have to make sure that the orientation of the heroes favor this particular platform unit to get that orb and at least protect you. right? And if you put Lily here to try to protect, you're wasting that revive. Remember, it does take time for it to come back up. So the advice would be just avoid it. Don't bring anything here where you're going to invite trouble. Again, I do have a clip of one battle where I did take advantage of that. So that was another one that I haven't seen. We have, surprisingly, we did not see a whole lot, is to try to stack them up here. And I think a lot of that has to where you can place your units. You're really limited on when you can do that, but you can definitely try if you want, depending on the hero that you have. Especially if you make somebody like Aracha or Eva your lord, you have an extra extension. Maybe you can survive something like that, but there's definitely some opportunity here for you to three stack if you want, or you can do 2 and take advantage of a platform. But just keep in mind, Gardener Guards will reach here, mages will blast you out of here, so you definitely want to put any units right beside here. Again, there are some situations where you might be able to salvage somebody in this platform here if you have Carnelian. But again, don't take that chance. You really would have to do it really fast. And of course, it all depends on how fast your Carnelian is. Remember, there is all this track here that you do have to take in order to reach the platform units here. So definitely a lot of different strategies that you can employ in this keep. And at least for this map, you no longer have to encounter that Ingrid tile extensions, right? So you don't have to, at least in season 5, the keep, Ingrid had all 5 tiles, so you don't really have to contend with that here. There was a spot where somebody was trying to test Ingrid. I think it was, let me see here, because I want to see, it's something like here if you wanted to, but remember, it's only the 1 tower we're writing about, and then we have the 2 extensions. So if you want to try that, you can definitely give it a whirl. At least in this week, I didn't really have a chance to go too much against keeps, given that my guildmates took him out before I had a chance to. But definitely, we'll look out to see how often we're seeing Ingrids being placed on this tile, and then just trying to making you brute force here with Ingrid constantly, trying to get her overload on you, her AoE overload on you. So that's one spot there where you can probably use Ingrid if you do want to bring her in. All right, now let me switch over to the tower. So this is what we are going when it comes to the tower. There essentially are 2 spots where you can put your core together. So this is spot number 1. This is one of the defenses that I've been trying to use, and this week it did fairly well. So I'm going to keep using it until somebody breaks it. But essentially here I have my 2 platform units right behind my defender, and I have a CC. So one of the things that I am noticing in this map is that a lot of people like to use I for this, especially because so many tiles for her to put her ice crystal bombs on, and you can use it as an opportunity to CC your hero as well. And then here I have my healer, so you can see she has the extension, and it really gets to Regulus. So he's really the only one that really gets protected in this setup here. Now let's talk about this setup in particular. So one of the things again is that if somebody is successful on getting the Gardener Guards to press right up against Regulus, yes, my Pretius would be in danger. All right. But given that I have a little bit of CC here that they have to get through, is enough, but from what I've seen, at least for Pelagios and Pretius, to be able to just knock him out. And that's essentially what you want to look for, right? Now, let's say you had Ingrid, or for some reason you had somebody that had a little bit better extension than my Pretius, right? Then you can definitely back him up. This is one defense that I've been seeing, is people like to be placing Ingrid in this particular tile, and then you can have whatever if you want your healer up here, you can definitely place him there, or you can have it give him here. It's just, you just gotta make sure you protect yourselves against the Gardener Guard. So again, let me show you the 2 platforms where the Gardener Guards will be able to get to, or essentially these are the 2. So you're not safe here. So try not to make sure that your tank does not get that the Garner Guards do not press against them. Try to get some CC on them. All right, so let's now there is an opportunity here for you if you wanted to, where you can bring 2 tank units here and then form some type of defense that will have your opponent have to go through 2 tanks or some type of a tank and some type of CC unit right here, right behind. Like season 5, Captain Reeve came out of came out of the shelf a little bit, and people were using him for that. Torador, if you want to, you can try Abomination for those of you that are in Platinum. Definitely that gives you some options here. You just got to make sure that you have a platform unit that can reach down here. Now, the one thing is that if you do decide to put your tank right here, now the Garner Guards are going to have a little bit of a hard time getting to these platform units right here. Now, at least from the AI that I've been noticing from the Garner Guards, they do definitely like to, one of the first tiles that they like to go after is, because I don't know if it just gets in the range right away, but it's definitely where I'm going to put Pelagius here. So they will target here, and then if they can, they will also target I, if that is something they want. But definitely first they'll look here, they'll look at Prettiest, and then they'll look at I. Now, if you protect if you have somebody like Ingrid back here, and then we put Pelagius in a tile where the Garner Guards, they're definitely going to want to take out I in that manner. Another spot where I'm seeing marksmen being placed, and this is a favorite for some compositions, because either they're bringing in their Silences or they're placing Sargok in there. Those are kind of just 2 units, to give you an example that people are like to place them, is right here in this tile. Now, the Garner Guards will definitely reach here. So make sure that if you do decide to go in that type of ideology, that type of formation, that you tank up your unit. Make sure that they have enough HP to take a couple of hits from the Garner Guards before they start focusing on the tank. But definitely, this is one spot if you wanted to place somebody to try to control here and then place 2 tank units. So that's another example. It works if you are able to slow things down and are able to hold up with 2 units here. Otherwise, you can get overwhelmed really easily if it's somebody like Silas, right? You can just send the daggers, you can send the slaughterers, just try to ram through, and then eventually they'll get out of the marksman range, and then you're on your own. It all depends on what you have back here to try to get through that, all right? Now, if you decide not to place any type of CC units, right? If you just want to put the 1 tank here, at least from the practice rounds that I did with my guildmates, was that if you have like 2 platform units like here, and then you have your tank here, but then this unit does not provide any type of CC at all, it's really easy to get bombers to go right through. And if they get even close to this tile here, you can easily blow things up. So make sure that when you form your defenses is, number 1, you're not going to be susceptible to bombs, of course. Number 2, the Garner Guards don't come into play. And 3, that you have some type of CC, something that allows you to at least slow things down or just give the Demon Soldiers something else to contend with, besides just giving them free pass to go right through you. All right, now let me go back here. I didn't bring a whole lot of ground units here, but let me go here. In this one here. So when it comes to ground units, as you can see here, I'm going to pull Regulus out again. Here, let me pull everybody back. So here, if you wanted to, you could do that three tile ground tile defense if you wanted to. If for some reason you had like a nightmare composition that really was working well for you in the very first map, you can try that. You can definitely try here. And if you have enough CC, yes, you can feel comfortable enough having your platform unit here, because the Garner Guards are going to have to go straight up, right? So if you have something that can start dealing some damage to them, they won't even have a shot to get to you, because they have to get through this tile here before they can aim at you. if you don't give them a free pass and you can get them out of the way, do it. All right. Here's another trap that I saw some of my guildmates fall into. They tried to place a platform unit here with a defender here. That's a no-no. This is a free pass to Gardener Guards, especially if you don't have anybody to easily take him out in this tile here. So essentially what they were doing is they were taking them out. Or if you bait an ultimate, for example, archers will just take this out. So don't, if you place your tank here, if this is your startup point, don't bother with these. Just stick to the back. All right. Now, one of the things that, because of the Gardener Guards that I've been seeing, is when it comes to the platform units, if they want to make sure that they protect them, is to go back here, right? So that's one spot, especially if you have somebody that has an extension that can get to here, or you can come back here. So that's somebody like Pelagius can definitely get somebody like him can definitely extend out if you bring somebody like a Racha or Iobar. The favorite spot, especially for a defender that I've seen healers being laid up, is right in this tile. Okay, so essentially is we know that the healer's function is just to heal, protect your defender if at all possible. So let's just place it up here. They're going to be fine. Now, yes, if you don't have any way for you to defend against lightning guards, they're gonna pick off this spot. So they'll start, if they're not aiming to the tank, they're gonna aim to this platform, and if they're not aiming to that platform, they'll focus on this one, and then they'll come down and focus on this one. All right. Another kind of situation that I've been seeing as well is if you want to, again, this all depends on how you build your front, is that some people are placing some type of CC unit here or somebody that can reach out. They do back up their tank a little bit, and they pretty much dealing the platform unit here. So something like this. They place a marksman that can extend out here, and then kind of deal with the protection here. For example, I think a guildmate of mine had like Sargak here, I believe, and then they tried Tio in here to try to slow things down, and they had another ground unit here, I think it was Balderon, and that was working out for him, at least against the guilds we were going with. Eventually, I did find a way to beat it, but that is something else that you can toy around with depending on the heroes that you have as well. Just remember though that if you do allow the Gardener Guards to reach your tank, they're going to take somebody like Lily out. It's just all on that control. How well are you building things to make sure that things don't get to you or that you are able to see them. So that's essentially kind of the tips that I can give you in terms of forming composition here in the tower. And now let's just go ahead and show you some clips to just kind of give you an idea of how this is playing out in action. I'm going to position myself up here just to make sure that I'm out of the way and that you guys can see. So here is the first battle that I did manage to see. And again, here is the example that I was giving you. There's two tanks here, and we have a Sargak right behind. So I'm going to try to get around this. There's an Ajax here, and then they place Lily right behind Ajax. So I have to somehow try to get around this. So one of the best decisions, or the best methodology that I know to try to get to this, let's ram it. Let's see if we can get right through them and try to take down Broker and Gun if at all possible. So this is all about trying to also BP check. I felt comfortable enough to do it, and I had to try it, right? So basically my role in the guild that I'm in here in Forerunners is that I'm essentially asked to go last. I'm kind of last in the rotation, and I'm essentially kind of the cleanup man. So I just try to get wherever wins I can in this type of setup that I'm in. All right. So here, let me send out the first unit, kind of just try to bait ults, get everything done. Now, here's the downside, of course, to trying to put a marksman down here, especially when you don't have somebody to give him that extra tile. He's just waiting back here. I'm only really having to deal with Ajax. So it's not until I get past Procure that I'm going to see it. So part of this was that I think maybe whoever laid this out was thinking, maybe I can stall him out. Or they could have just brought him down here, because remember, the Gardener Guard is not going to be able to get here. At least I have not seen it. It did not work for me in the practice rounds to try to get this tile here, because we have everything up front here. Not only that, we also have Ajax here that's going to do damage to us. And also there's a lot of targets here that the Gardener Guard could focus on. So that wasn't in play for me. I was not going to try that. So essentially it was just, let's just ram through it. And again, one of the benefits that I had is because Sargak was not really in our range. So as you can see here, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to try, I know Ajax is going to go off, but I do have a healer there. I do have the Fool kind of providing protection as well. So let's just try to ram through Broker if at all possible. Now here is what I'm getting through Broker. So I started to get into Sargak's range. So he's going to, defense down, essentially going to smack. But again, just trying to overwhelm the tanks with everything that is going around. And at the same time, I already had my healers out as well. So they're trying to heal as much as they can. And there we go. I was able to get right through it, just like I wanted it from beginning when I had pictured the run. Okay, so in the second one here, I do have a control unit. I do have that I have to get around. We do have somebody that is providing extension in Eobar, and I have a regulars to get through. Now, here we go. So he placed regulars down here. So essentially is what I'm protecting myself against Gardener Guards. Since Lily is getting a 1-tile extension, he didn't really care about healing these 3 units. He said, if you're going to beat me, you're going to have to go through regular. So that's exactly what we're going to try to do. And essentially what he was trying to do as well is trying to not encourage rushing through the 1 tank by placing and have her place all the crystal bombs in. All right, so send my Templar out. Hopefully he does well against Sargak and Eobar. So we'll send the first tank out, and then I'm going to send the second one in as well. Now I'm sending in the daggers, all 4 of them. Because what I want to do is try to take regulars down. And one of the fortunate parts for me here, and this played a big role into it, is that the Templar got through, right? So now the marksmen are going to focus on them, and they're going to leave the daggers alone. And now the daggers have a free run on Regulus. So I triggered Lily's passive. I took him down. Now they're just going right through. And then, of course, the healers can hit platform units, so they just took the platform units out. And there we go. We got to the core. All right. Let's go to the next one and see if I can show you this one. So here we go. I'm affiliating the heroes. And now on this one, I do have to contend with a Valderon. So we're going to try to see if we can get through him with control unit like here as well. Now in this one, I can't remember if I used the Gardener Guards. Let's play it out because it'll give me an idea exactly of what I tried to do. But I think if the Gardener Guards here were just, I think in case I wanted to just send them out and see if they would hit Sargak. But when I saw this setup here, I really my inclination was, let's see if we can get through the air. Let's take a flight and see if we can get free passage. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So just remember that if you're going to do something that you need, you may need a little bit more protection on air, or you got to make sure your Sarga just smacks a lot. So definitely, he did a very good job protecting himself against ground units. I wasn't too sure that he did too much when it came to air units. So here I can see Sargak's ultimate is dwindling down. Now he's focusing on the lightning guard, which is fine. Let him focus on it because that's exactly what I needed him to do. Just provide enough distraction, if at all possible, and then provide some healing here in the background, and then just let the rare flyers go right through. So that's exactly how I beat that defense that the guild left me behind. Okay, so on this one here, I think is part air and then part trying to get through broker, but at the same time I have to deal with this Eobar here on the corner and Silas on top. So let's go through that clip. Oh, the other thing, if you notice here, because this is okay, so here it is. In case you were wondering, we get more time. So we're at 326 now, so it's a little bit more time for us to try to get through this whole thing here. So the developers did kind of, in a way, said, yeah, we kind of did extend it out the map a little bit, so let's give them a little bit more time. So perfect. We have a little bit more planning to do. Okay, so here we go. So I had to worry about Silas's ultimate, so I had triggered that. I know ice crystal bombs can do some damage, but the first thing that I wanted to do, at least with this first set, was to try to get to Broker's passive, get that out of the way, get things set up for the next round. Now, unfortunately here, the Templar got right through, but that's fine. And my daggers and slaughters survived that round. If they wouldn't have, I was ready to send the second set in anyway. And hopefully we would be able to trigger the last thing. Okay, so here, what I decided to do was space out my lightning guards because I did want him, Iobar to use up his ultimate on one and not get both of them. And this got close, but you can see that I did get to Silas and I took him out. Once we got to Silas and we got to take him out, the rest was easy. There's no big deal there. He has no protection. The lightning guard will take him out. Everything then is open. So let's just go through it. No problem there. I had 33 seconds left. That's plenty of time. So definitely we welcome the extra time to try to figure out these type of defenses. Oh, so I have here an Ingrid defense. Okay, so in this one here, it was all pretty much, yes, he relied too much on Ingrid. He did try to slow things down a little bit with Maul on the back. Yes, I did use Ma for this, but what I just want you to focus on is that she really can't do, you can't really rely on her. She's only doing damage to the one unit. So one of the things that I want you to think about in this layout here with trying to use Dahlia or Ingrid is that, yes, you can use them and try to be effective if you have the units to form around her. But you can see it's not all in a straight line like it was in the Keep or in Season 4's Tower map, right? So she doesn't have easy access to take everybody else out. So here I have the Fool, and he stalls out a little bit, puts the shield, gives Ma extra time to try to take that tank out. And then after that, it's just send the slaughter, send the dagger. Now, one of the things we couldn't do here, at least with the first tank, is switch her over to the stellar mode. But essentially, once Ma is able to clear things out, yeah, she changes over, which is the best part of when you're trying to battle Ingrid, is getting her to switch. So that's essential. So this clip, yes, I did use Ma, but I just wanted to kind of show you the effect that Ingrid has on this map. It's not really as robust as it was in the previous map. Did I use Ingrid in this one? No, or Ma on this one? No. But we did have Osiris to deal with. Okay, so I think that this is a keep. Yes, it is a keep. Okay, so in this one here, essentially what I decided to do is I was going to go through the air again. One of the primary reasons is because Boreas here is in a very, very susceptible position. So let's get that ultimate out of the way. And then I'm going to send the Garner Guards to deal to do what I need him to do, which is exactly just take him out, because then it really frees things up after that. The other thing too that I decided to do is I needed some type of unit here that you could use as bait for Kamat, because as you can see here, his ultimate's not activating. I got Lily's passive out of the way, and they were able to take him out. Now, one of the things here to notice, though, the Garner Guards are pressed right up against the tank, or Cyrus here in this regard, and they're not aiming at Komet. All right, so I will still do some tests to see if they can reach Komet, but in this situation here, it did not look like they were able to reach Komet. Now, eventually, I do think that their AI will try to focus on Komet, but I think one of the things that was disturbing here, their targeting was Cyrus's skeletons, and that's why they were trying to focus on those units there. But eventually, what I was trying to do is I was trying to see if the skeletons eventually did die to the Garner Guards. So there, and then I was looking to see if we would see any changes to the health bar of Komet, but unfortunately, the skeleton come right back out again. Either way, at least from what I've been able to do in practice rounds, especially with my guildmates, I haven't been able to get that platform unit out of the way. But that is not to say that the AI is going to do something funky and all of a sudden say, oh yeah, it is there, and I'm going to take it out. But I will tell you this, unlike this opponent here, you shouldn't really have had a tank back here. I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying not to get swarmed, but they didn't really adjust for the air. But if you want to make sure your Garner Guards are not going to hit you here, make sure you have somebody that can really take them out before they even line up against the tank. That's essentially would be my advice. Okay, so that's exactly what I decided to do here. Let's just send things out, and we're gonna take free flight. Now, it didn't look like Komet's ultimate was really coming back that quickly, so I wasn't worried too worried about it. So we did go for it, and because we were able to take Boreas out, it was free, easy peasy ride through the skies. So that's how I beat that keep for this past week. All right, let me see what else I did collect here. A lot of this stuff, it was either demonstration or just trying to give you an idea of how you can combat these type of units here. Now, for this one here, what is it that you're seeing right away? What is it that you're seeing right away? I'm gonna give you a couple. Of seconds here before we go through the battle. Okay, number one, if you picked it out, this is an Inferno team. So if you can tie them up, that will help you. Number two, we're dealing with a tank that really has no way to protect itself. There is no there's no passive that protects them from a fatal damage. There is nothing that restores their HP. There's nothing that gives an opportunity. So in this one here, and because of how the Infernos work and they get tied up, this was simple for me. It was essentially I'm gonna bull rush it and I'm gonna do it fast. So anytime I see something like this, like an Orem or a Crodor or anything like that, I'm gonna bull rush it, or at least I'm gonna try. But when it comes to having the Infernos, it's very easy to get through. All right, so poor healer, he's just gonna be activating ultimates, so we're sacrificing him. So here we go. Let's send out the units. So let's keep an eye on ultimates. Now, fortunately here, I was able to trigger Elowen's ultimate. That was big. Now, let's just bull rush him. Now look at this. Don't use Orem as a tank in GvG. All right. So now that I have things open here, let's just clean things up and then get through the core. That's essentially what happened here. All right, mage number 1, mage number 2. So there goes Sulcadence. He's gonna waste his ultimate. Now things are open. Sorry, Ajax. Sorry, Sulcadence. And now let's just get through the core and get things done. All right, so that was that one. I don't know why they really left it open, or why they left it for me to deal with. Okay, so this guy, I think, might have been a little bit too intimidating for my guild mates, but I do see a hex. We do have an Ardea. We have an arrogance to deal with. I understand. But one of the things here, again, is we're going to just go through the air because we can bait hex and we can bait arrogance, or at least time arrogance ultimate. Now, the reason that I'm showing you this here is because people are going back to what they're comfortable with, trying to lay out the 3 platform units. They're trying to challenge you to come through the ground if you can. But in this case, because they were using hex on the back, if you time things correctly, you can get through the air. But again, just kind of take an idea of how people are positioning things here, and they're trying to take advantage of the map to try to put a good defense together. So I think that this map will allow you a little bit more flexibility in building defenses, but then also you have to keep in mind that the offense now has more time to try to find a solution to the problem. So it kind of balances both ways this season, at least from what it looks like. So again, we just went through the air. Poor Hex couldn't keep up, and Arrogance, of course, could not keep up. So they just, the lightning guard was enough of a distraction for them. What I wanted to emphasize with this is exactly how the layout is not allowing us for us to use the full in the same manner that we were able to use them in the season 5 map. So let me show you why. Because one of the things that I did here in trying to protect this Ma here in this attack was that I thought releasing the full at 10 and then getting Ma out with 9, that I would have enough time. This is something that I did not test. So this was going pretty much, you know, blind eye into the battlefield. So I released Ma here. Now, what I was hoping for is that Ma would catch up to the Fool for the Fool to turn around and give him the shield. Because in the season 5 map, given that there's so many turns and there was a way for them to slow down, the Fool could then turn around. So in this case here, make sure that you send the Fool in, or the Fool right after Ma. I think that that's probably the best way that you're gonna be able to encounter this. Okay, so yeah, so again, in this map here, it's pretty much just standard layout that I've seen from previous. They decided to use the tank here. They decided to use Aracha here. Again, the reason I did not send the Gardener Guards on this one is I laying her crystal bombs, Aracha providing stunts and control, so it really wasn't going to afford us the opportunity. But you can see here, I got lucky. This was a luck. I should have really lost this one. Ma should have been taken out right away. His Silas should have had fun with them, but the healer was able to rescue them in time. The slaughterers were able to get through Broker and get him down with all the healers in there as well. So in this one, it was just kind of those just waiting for the slaughterers and the healers to do their thing, and you know, hopefully Silas didn't activate that ultimate or didn't do too much damage with the ultimate. But at the end, it was just rushing it through and getting it out of the way. But so just do keep in mind on how you do the Fool with the Ma interaction. I think in this case, you might have to release your Ma first before you do the Fool instead of vice versa. Now, what did I try doing in here? Okay, so again, I was a favorite this week. So people like to use I for this one. I understand. She's laying out all those crystal bombs here, and then I have Boreas here. Now, in this one, it's a little bit puzzling to me as to how easy Cyrus went down, and I think that that's why this worked. But essentially what I wanted to show you in this run here is the Gardener Guard interaction to this tile here, and that's exactly what I did, is that I did send them out to try to take Hatsud out. And honestly, if I really wanted to make sure that Hatsud went down, maybe I should have made my Gardener Guards the first affiliation. But she was tanky enough to at least survive a couple hits. But as you saw there, once they got into the range of Boreas, poof, Boreas was set out. And then the rest was easy, right? Because we took Cyrus out. So this particular opponent, I do not know exactly how to build the Cyrus, but that just seemed too easy for the Gardener Guards to turn around, hit him a couple times with the other unit, and then just completely take him out. So that's essentially what I have for you in terms of a preview, especially for those of you in the global server, of what Season 6 map is like. And of course, as the weeks progress, maybe there's another video that I can make for you all. If you want it, just let me know in the comment section of different battles and how different strategies and how people are adjusted here in the first couple of weeks while we wait for this to roll out in the global server. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. I will try to get to them as soon as I can. And aside from that, thank you very much for tuning in and watching. I will see you all next time in the next Watcher of Realms video.